Right, so Bosh, here it is, the Nimbus 2000 Egg Smasher 500. And I didn't even turn it on. Hey, what's going on guys? It's Ben from Parker Baits and you join me with Peter Andre the Goat and I'm at Parker Baits HQ. Today I'm going to take you on my journey. There's various of Parker Baits boys here today, a couple of the ambassadors, Ian, Theo, Steve and also Jay. We've got Neil here, Neil the main man. Now I've just been feeding my mates the, like I said, Peter Andre over there, some watermelon. It seems to be his favourite thing. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that guys. Make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Click on the like button on this video to give us a thumbs up and make sure and help us, me and my brother and the family, grow our YouTube channel. But like I said, I'm going to take you on my journey and show you how we make 14mm shelf life in OG fruit and nut today. Something a little bit different and something fresh and something you haven't seen. I'm going to try and go over bits that we haven't gone over before in the factory vlogs. But yeah, you alright Peter? Good man. Let's have it. Just before we start this video guys, make sure you head over to the Parker Baits social medias, whether that be TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and also check out the Parker Baits store. We've also just set up a Facebook community page as well, so you can get involved, speak to like-minded fishermen, learn some tips, tricks, where they're fishing in the country, what's catching what. Happy blooming days. Time to make some fruit and nut. Well, kicking the day off with a Mackey's. Mr. Steve's brung them down. The boy, Ian's over there and Jay's just behind there. So yeah, breakfast to start. Mighty McMuffin, lovely, blooming, lovely. Right, wow, you've got Neil in the background there, fixing our Boilie holder, if you like. That's probably the only way of putting it across. I remember when we first built that, it was built for 20 kilo. And now about 250 kilo goes on it a day, and now it's broke this morning, the wheels popped off it, and I'm sure in months to come there'll be 2 ton, and we're going to need 2 or 3 of them bad boys to withstand the orders obviously coming in. So without further ado, I thought it'd be quite nice to take the drone up and show you a little bit of Parker Baits HQ, the lake we've got on site, and a little bit of a taste in your mouth of what to expect for the Parker Baits Open Day. Now on that note guys, in excess of 100 tickets have already sold. There's limited numbers left. We've capped it at 200. If you do want to come to the Parker Baits Open Day, head over to the Parker Baits store, get that ticket, and trust me, it's a fantastic day. And also what I will do is guys, I'll put some B-roll up on the screen now of the Parker Baits Open Day that happened last year. It was a hit, people loved it, and hence why we've brought the numbers up a little bit more this year. So, like I said, without further ado, I'm going to sit cross-legged, lift this bad boy up, and show you what's going on at Parker Baits HQ. Right, let's rewind a little bit here and start from the beginning. The reason why Parker Baits is now a brand, and obviously the love of my life, call me sad, but Parker Baits is everything to me and my brother and also the family. It really, really is. I can't push that enough. Now for years and years and years I've been using different baits, playing about with different baits, ingredients, so on. Even when I was working a full-time job, I had to outsource, I had to buy bait or get people to roll bait for me because I just didn't have the time. But I was sick to death of buying bait, whether that be from the local tackle shop and obviously people that then roll it. I was sick to death of getting a bait that basically wasn't great. You had the nutritional value wasn't there. I think maybe things were skimped on ingredients. The egg ratio was very low. And as a general, the bait just wasn't that good. It was me and my brother's time to break the internet, break the bait industry and bring a bait in like no other. Nutritional value through the roof. As a business, the customer service is absolutely fantastic. We steam our baits, which is very different from every other business. And not only that, we double dust our baits as well, which again is very different. So let's start from the beginning. I'm going to touch on some of the key ingredients on today. The particular bait that we're cooking is OG fruit and nut. I'm going to touch on some of the key ingredients in there and why we put them ingredients in. Kicking it off, now obviously I spoke about it a minute ago, and that was high nutritional value. Now that's a big one for me. Giving you the best bait money can buy, no skimping on ingredients, buying the best possible ingredients money can buy, and ultimately, mate, putting that into a lovely sexy ball, putting it in a bag, and obviously going out and catching some nosser pigs, and ultimately you guys get your hands on it and catching some fish as well. Yes! Now let me kick it off. Fruit and nut. What is fruit and nut? What does it consist of? What are the flavourings within the bait? We've got chocolate orange, coconut and peanut. Now these are 3 bespoke flavourings. They are a bespoke Parker Baits flavour, and I know nobody else is using our particular one in the country. There's various different grades of chocolate orange, there's various different grades of peanut, and obviously there's various different grades of coconut as well. I feel myself and my brother have nailed it after going to and from a lab. This is a natural flavouring as well, but going to and from a lab and quite frankly and upsetting them because we were right annoying. It was like, nah, bring up the ratios of this, play about this, it's too potent here, can you play about this? I need it a little bit sweeter, because obviously we're tasting this product as well. In the end we nailed it. When you combine them 3 flavourings together, you've literally got a match made in heaven. Now they're the 3 flavourings behind the bait. Let me touch on some of the ingredients within both of our baits actually, but particularly in the fruit and nut. Right, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, guys, but also as basic and as easy as humanly possible, so anybody can watch this and understand it and what's going on. So I've got sort of some of my favourite ingredients. Obviously I couldn't possibly touch on all of our ingredients here in the OG fruit and nut. I was going to have people go home and be making it themselves and never head over to the Parker Baits store. But let me cut on to the point here of some of our secret ingredients. Now kicking it off with tiger nut meal. Now this is I'm very fond of this product. I mean, I'm a massive fan of tigers, and I know Theo is as well, and alongside peanuts. Now this is tiger nut meal. Now I've had a conversation with suppliers in the past, and I've also had not arguments but debates with people on the bank, because they've said tiger nut meal is the same as tiger nut flour. Now they're very wrong there in that respect, and the reason for that is tiger nut meal is obviously milled, and you've got them little bite size, for a fish even, maybe not so much for myself, but for a fish you've got these little bite sized chunks which is milled, as opposed to gone completely into a flour. So with a flour it's obviously going to be very smooth. With a tiger nut meal you've got that lovely crunch factor, which gives us that nut crunch within the bait, very stimulating the carp and very good. There's a very good percentage of tiger nut meal within the OG fruit and nut. So that's the first one. So next up, CLO, and again another one for me, and the favourite, and the one thing I always say a lot on the channel, on the story, is the reason why I like CLO is because of the fleck it gives to our bait. Now CLO, cod liver oil, superfoods, cereals, there's Niger seeds in there. For further detail, just bang CLO in Google and you can look in it in a great more depth. But again, not only does it give that crunch, it gives that fleck. Now it's funny because we actually use CLO in our OG fish as well, which is very different, because a lot of people, when it comes to fish meal baits, they try and stay away from bird seedy content, if you like. Well, this is a bird seedy sort of content. It's obviously got cereals, superfoods, etc. in it, and obviously a good CLO content there, cod liver oil content. But them Niger seeds and that fleck gives us that crunch, the visual, and just an overall, like I said, match made in heaven. There's a good percentage of this, and like I said, we do this with our OG fish and the OG fruit and nut. It runs in both baits to give the same-ish fleck in both of our ranges. So that is the CLO, the reasons why we put the CLO in, and the reasons why I love this product in both of our baits. Next up, this one here is called peanut protein. Now it smells absolutely fantastic, you almost want to eat it. When you add this with the chocolate orange, you've almost got like a snickery kind of smell with a chocolate orange kick in the back, or an orange kick in the back, because as you know, a Snickers doesn't have an orange in it, but you've got the peanut smell coming through on that. I love how Tom describes it from the off. We've always called it, when we're on the customers on their phone, we're like, almost like a snickery smell with that kick of chocolate orange. But a little bit of info on peanut protein. Now peanut protein is a great product because it's potent, but you can also go one end of the spectrum to the other on this. Now I like to say this is the Rolls Royce of the peanut protein world, because if you buy a cheap peanut protein, what you'll find is the fat percentage will go up in it and the protein level will decrease. If you spend the money or buy a high-end peanut protein, what you'll find is the fat percentage will decrease, but the protein level will increase, and therefore you're getting a better product. Yes, it costs more, but better for the fish as a general, and particularly in the winter months. because being that the fat percentage you don't want too high. So there it is, peanut protein, smells fantastic and definitely an edge in our fruit and nut. And like I said, I'm possibly not going to touch them all. And in the background there is Neil drilling, because he's still fixing, if you want to look down there still, he's still fixing, reinforcing our holder there, which was an absolute nightmare this morning when it broke down. But I'm going to get to the point, and the next one is ground soya bean meal. Now, ground soya bean meal, off the top of my head, the numbers on this, I think it's 40% plus in protein. It's where vegans, vegetarian would get their protein from, obviously, being that it's a soy product. Now, again, another factor with this is you've got the crunch with it and also the visual, because it's quite bitty, because it's a meal, not a flour. Although we do have a flour that goes in our bait as well. But again, a good controlled, balanced level of this makes that match made in heaven again. So there it is, soya bean meal, lovely jubbly. Well, I guess it would be rude not to show you exactly what's going on the other side of Parker Baits HQ. Now, there's Ian behind me there. I'm going to touch on exactly what he's doing in a second, and also I've got Jay directly in front of me. Now, I'll leave it at that. Let's kick it off, and we see exactly what Jay's doing. So you join me with Jay, which is a Parker Baits ambassador, and he's also got his own YouTube channel, mate, haven't you, as well, which I'll put at the top of the screen now, so you can go check it out for yourselves. So what have you been doing this morning then, mate?
This morning I've been packaging up 18mm OG fish
Lovely.
into the kilo bags. But at the minute I ran out of the bags, so I'm just labelling what you're getting, and yeah, what size, freezer, shelf life, just what it is basically. So it's just there for you when you get it, you know exactly what it is. Bosh!
Bosh! So there it is, explained very well by Jay. We've got our new bags, and if you weren't aware, we've just invested as a business, as a family. We've just bought 60,000 bags. Yeah, you heard me right, 60,000 bags. It baffles me when I say this. From something that started in my brother's garage, which was probably the size of that corner of the room, and how it's evolved thanks to all you guys supporting the Parker Baits wave and joining the wave itself. So there it is, that's what Jay's been doing. What I'm going to do is now, guys, I'm going to touch on over to my right and show you the OG fish, 18 mils, in their sexiest little balls. I'll show you in a second. Yesterday, myself and Theo done in excess or just under 200 kilo of 18mm fish. Now there they are, like I said, I always make the joke, sexy little balls of goodness. Nutritional value absolutely through the roof, and these get double dusted. The only way of describing it really is almost like little sexy Dorito balls, because when you buy a pack of cheesy Doritos, you've got that like cheesy dust over them. Now it gets stuck to your fingers. Now you get the same with the OG fish. Just under 20 different spices and a couple of other naughties that stick to the bait. So when it comes off the roller, they get dusted. When it goes in the steamer, gets steam, comes out the steamer, they get dusted again. So you're seeing a bait like never before, and something new and fresh to the bait industry, if you like. 18mm. Just very quickly, I just want to touch on the flavours that go in here: squid, octopus, and chili. Three devastating, and I mean devastating, flavours that have been around for years, and I'm sure they'll be around for decades to come. So a little bit more of an insight there on our OG fish, why it's so good, and like I said, sexy little balls of goodness. Happy days. So as you can see, the tractor's there behind, and the reason why the tractor's is because he's cutting the field ready for the Parker Baits Open Day, as you can see now by the B-roll on the screen of him cutting it. So it's uniform, so we can park all the cars on the field so they're safe and the grass isn't too high. And like I said, I'm absolutely buzzing for the Parker Baits Open Day, baby. Whee! So kicking it off just over the other side from Jay now is my good friend Ian, also a Parker Baits colleague. Now here is our pineapple pop-ups, mate, and a favourite on the online store, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they've been popular since they went down first time in the winter.
Yeah. So they come with 10mm dropper, mate?
Yeah, 10 new, brand new, come in this week, 10mm droppers, just to give you that extra boost. They're the only hook baits that we actually do with these at the moment. Each pot has its own 10mm dripper that we've just done up of pure pineapple extract.
Smells banging, doesn't it?
It's got a kick to it, it woke me up this morning, I'll tell you that. Lovely though.
So you've got that in there. All I would say is, guys, if you do head over to the Parker Baits store and you do buy this product, you don't need much of it, almost like salt and pepper on your food, just a little bit, couple of drops, because it is a potent, bespoke as well to Parker Baits pineapple. They're a very buoyant pop-up. They come in yellows and orange. Yellows and orange, and also, I don't know if you can see it on there, but our new Parker Baits labels that Steve has spent blooming hours on to get these right, but you got on here why it's so good, a little bit of background on what the pop-up is about, the flavours within it, do's and don'ts on it as well, and obviously a barcode, and that barcode means one thing, guys: we will be hitting shops. Now, maybe you are a shop and you maybe potentially want to stock Parker Baits in your shop, please get in contact. At the moment, we haven't approached any shops whatsoever. All the shops / fisheries that they're in have all approached us. They've all said to us, Ben, Tom, we want your bait in our shop, and we've said no problem at all. If you do want to maybe look at the Parker Baits products, you want to send us, I want us to send over some bits, you can see it in further depth, taste it, feel it, look at it yourself to get a gauge of what the product is about, to show that we are not messing about. Get in contact with us, call the main Parker Baits number, and we can sort something out. So there it is, a bit more of an insight on the Parker Baits pineapple pop-ups. And I know I say it every time, but sexy little balls. Right, so here it is. This is the Parker Baits extruder. What this does is, it secondary mixes the mix. So we mix all the mixes by hand. They get mixed. They come in here, they get mixed again. It then pushes the sausage along like so, comes out, makes the perfect sausage, chucks it, throws them out the bottom, and then makes them balls that I've just said. I'm not going to put the sexy word in front of it, you're probably sick of me saying that, but there they are. Then they get dusted like Theo's doing there. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave it at that, because we're going to go over to Theo now and he's going to show you our second process of dusting. Now the baits have just come out of the steamer, they've had their special lube that we're not going to show you, but now he's going to show you exactly how we dust them and the ingredients within our dusting.
Right guys, so you join me at our stage 2 dusting. That's right, our second stage of dusting. So I've just lubed up these baits here, they've come fresh out of the steamer, they go into our little sieving trays. Once they've been dipped, they then go into a secondary tray. We then go into our dusting pot, and in the dusting pot we give them a good shake. So what does the dust contain? It contains 3 main ingredients: CLO, kelp and finely ground hemp. Now we mix these 3 in-house obviously to give that perfect consistency to the dusting. So once they've had their first dusting, gone in the steamer, they then come straight out, they get lubed, and then they go straight into our double dusting. So there we have it, they've gone in, we've covered them in the dust, and as you can see, let me just grab one that's not dusted, and let me grab one that is. So you can see the difference there, thousands of little food particles all over the bait, and all of that will leak off as it hits the bottom. Some of it comes off through the water column as it will, but mostly the time you get down to the bottom and you look at this in the margin, and what you'll see is that all of these baits leave a little halo around them where all that dust comes off and sits on the bottom, and it is so highly attractive to the carp. They absolutely love it. Here at Parker Baits we like to keep things consistent. Now as you've seen, I've gone in and dusted them once already. If I go through and then you see there, they're starting to lighten up nicely. If I ever see the odd 1 or 2 in there that look a bit dark and look like they haven't got enough dust, well, we go again. We're not going to skimp, we don't do half measures here at Parker Baits. We like to make sure that every single bait is absolutely perfect every time. Come on, the Parker Baits. Hey.
Well, like Theo just said, I go on and on and on and on about consistency. That word you hear a hell of a lot here at Parker Baits HQ. Now, although this has been mixed already, before I even added the egg ratio, which is just down below me to the right here, I let it mix again. It's going to be more consistent. You're going to get a good even as it comes out the extruder, because it's been mixed 110%. You're going to get the same fleck levels throughout, the same amount of ingredients throughout each bait. So again, that consistent word comes up again. So in a second, I'm going to let this run, mix a little bit more for a few more minutes to make sure I'm 110%. And then I'm going to touch on our eggs. Here at Parker Baits with our freezer baits, put around 9 eggs in a kilo. With our shelf life, we've had to bring the ratio of eggs down ever so slightly. And when I mean ever so slightly, I'm talking 15 eggs. So 15 eggs is then replaced with monopropylene. And that monopropylene was put in last night alongside the flavourings and the eggshells and everything else. I smash it up, the Nimbus 2000 egg smasher. Goes in, gets smashed up. Then basically what I'm trying to do is is the preservative properties of the monopropylene will activate overnight and bake. Ultimately, you're just getting a very good shelf life product. Some people put it in there and then, it's fair enough, each their own, but it's just something I've done for a long time, seems to work, makes a great product, and also, just while we're on that note, the monopropylene level is as low as humanly possible. The bait company's been around for nearly 2 years now, and it was only 2 months ago, sorry, just over a month ago, we dropped our shelf life as a general. Why? Because we've been spending so much time on it to make it perfect, so you guys are getting a shelf life like no other. Egg ratio touched on, happy bloomin' days. So there he is. I don't know if you're picking that up. The other half of Parker Baits is here, the main man himself, my brother. But if you see him there, that's not a Parker Baits logo on his thing there. And at the top of the screen now is my brother's other business, something he's very passionate about, is dogs. Do you want to touch on it very quickly, Tom?
So I run a luxury boarding kennels for small to medium dogs, and if you have got a little dog and you're in the area of Hampshire or Southampton, then you click the link at the top of the screen now to check out my other business.
So there it is over the back. Tom's straight in and he's picking up products straight away. Ian's just finished off the 10mm droppers there in the pineapple pop-ups with our new labels on. But now I can officially say we're fully restocked on the Parker Baits website on our high-vis pop-ups.
So straight in this morning, I've got to do the orders. Myself and Ian are going to get cracking now. As you can see, without giving away anyone's address, there's quite a few from last night. There's some 10s, some 20s, and even a 50 kilo order going to one of the fisheries, which is Limbrook. Now, this is a good mixture. We've got our shelf life obviously live now, and I'd say probably 70–80% of people have actually taken shelf life today, which is really exciting. It's a new product. They are slightly harder, but include exactly the same ingredients. And if you do want to grab yourself a shelf life, there's a link in the description down below. But yeah, me and Ian are going to get cracking now because we've got a fair few orders to get out today. I'll catch up with you guys at the end and I'll show you the orders when we've done them.
Right, so I'm back over the other side now, and I'm now going to touch on our liquid food. Now, this is hydrolyzed fish with chilies. Now, there's cayman peppers in our chilies. It's a very thick it's sort of a very thick, you can always see the chilies have been put in a blender, and it's quite like when you put it through your hands, and it absolutely stinks, and it's very, very strong. You sort of touch it on your tongue, it's potent to say the least. Now, this is our fish lick, we called it the sauce. It's a pure liquid food, and also it's quite a thick liquid. Benefits of this stuff, you can boost pretty much everything. It's also PVA bag friendly as well. So if you want to put this on your boilies and then apply the magic dust to it after, that's brilliant. Whether you want to just add it to your particles to boost it and make it better than it already is, you can do that. And not only that, you can do various different other things with this product. So there it is, our pure liquid food. Happy bloomin' days. And also, I didn't mention, this is all mixed in-house. I'm outsourcing, it's mixed in-house. We add the chili, we add the other ingredients. Again, I'm not going to touch on every single one of them. We mix it all up, and then you get this beautiful bottle of goodness. This hasn't got the labels on yet, but what we are going to be doing is just putting our new labels on very, very soon.
No, that's all right, mate. No worries.
All of them. Yeah. Sweeten up. So as you can see, this is the last couple of days of eggs. Now, we don't mess about here at Parker Baits, and in fact I can factually say one day last week we used 4,220 eggs in 4 days, which absolutely blows my mind. But recycling is key. These are going back to the egg guy, so then he can refresh these and obviously help the environment. So there we go. So I know I said to you what we used over the last couple of weeks. Well, that was over 4 days, and that was 2 weeks ago. Today we've just had 1,800 eggs delivered. Now that'll be used over the next couple of days. We repeat the process. And just on that note, guys, here at Parker Baits we cook everything fresh. So beginning of that week it gets cooked fresh, it goes and gets sold by the end of the week, then the next week we repeat the process. So ultimately you're getting a very, very, very fresh bait. Not saying that's been sat in a container for months and months and months, or in a big storage warehouse for months and months and months. and then it's then been sent to the tackle shop. It's then been sat at the tackle shop then for another 2-3 months, and then ultimately you guys have bought it. No, this is being cooked, it's going out the door, you're receiving it. Sometimes the bait hasn't even seen a freeze, meaning it's been bagged that morning, gone out in orders, and you're receiving it the next day. So there it is. There's an interesting one for you. Just another thing, while I've got it quick in my head as well, obviously I've been talking about shelf life a lot. Now we keep our steaming down to a minimum here at Parker Baits as well, so you're not basically getting a marble, you're getting something that's very soft, very high in nutritional value like I keep mentioning, but ultimately very soft, very digestible to the fish, and also breaks down a lot quicker than any other bait. And then the water can ingress and obviously let out attraction to bring more fish in and ultimately catch some more notter pigs. Now when I say family run business, there's my mum there in the background, there's my dad over there, we're all getting involved. We're cleaning buckets ready for orders. Tom over there's packing orders, Ian over there's packing orders, and from that, look at that one, it looks like it's got some Parker Baits merch in. But I think this would be a great opportunity to touch on some of the orders that have come in last night. Bear in mind this is last night orders, they're getting packed today, they're going to be sent today, and all you guys that have made orders are going to be receiving them tomorrow. So let's go, let's touch on some of the orders in the background. Happy days. Right guys, so you join me with my dad now, and he's actually packing an order in front of me. This gentleman's name's Terrence, is going to the Worthing area and he's ordered the 5 kg shelf life bundle deal. Now, you can mix and match that on our website. So what he's done is he's opted for 3 kg of OG fruit and nut in the 14 mils, because at the moment we only do our shelf life in 14 mils. And the other 2 kilo he's opted to go in the fish in 14 mils. He's finished it off with the supercharged hardened hookers, and these are our 12 mil fruit and nut. So you've got a very hard bait that you can fish in confidence over the top if you're fishing for a long period of time. And then he's also finished it off with the OG fruit and nut sauce. That's all included in that one price with the 5 kg bundle deal. He's also went for any 5 hook baits, Dad, and he's got 3 OG fruit and nut wafters and 2 OG fish wafters on there. He's obviously a fan of the wafters. They're devastating in their own right. They're our biggest and our best selling hook bait that we sell as a family, as brothers, and something that is really close to my heart, especially the OG fish wafters. I actually caught a fish on them last week. Plug. Head over to the channel, watch the Menards video, and you see me on there. Use the wafters to their best advantage and get some nosser pigs on the bank.
You can see the OG fish wafter right there. And there she is, a big black one. Geared up.
But would you look at that? £17.8, absolutely beautiful. OG fish doing it again. That was on our dumpy dumbbells, the wafters. I love how they sit on the bottom. That's our new batch as well. But look at it, mate, every single fish. I know this is not the biggest fish in the world, but pretty nevertheless, and just I love it up here for that reason. So Terrence, thanks very much for your order, mate. You're going to be receiving the freshest bait in the game tomorrow. Happy blooming days. So what are you doing there then, Dad?
Putting the labels on.
Putting the label
These
on.
lovely jubbly wafters.
Lovely jubbly wafters. Now, joke aside, guys, everything that we do here is done in-house. We're not outsourcing in regards to pots and stickers. Yes, we outsource stickers, but we do that in-house. My mum, my dad, I get messages on the weekend. Here I am, Ben, 9 o'clock at night, so you don't have to, and here I am, putting wafters with your dad, and this is my mum sending me videos on WhatsApp. So what I try and do is, guys, I actually get a clip of this. She's going to kick me head in after this video, but I'm going to get a clip of this now, and I'll put it up on the screen so you can get a taste in your mouth of what my mum's like when she's sending me videos.
Here we are, 9 o'clock at night, still mini mixing. Come on, you nosser pigs.
And the bait is now going in the steamer, guys and girls. So it's had its first stage dusting. It does darken off slightly where the boilie mix is slightly wet. That's also another reason why we give them a second steaming. Now it doesn't all come off on the first steam, it does actually stay on. Once this lot's been in the steamer, I'll show you that exactly.
So this is something different, mate. Nothing we've ever spoke about before on the channel, on the story, anything, is it? Nobody even knows that. Well, I've played about with them, haven't I, in the background. I only told you this, what, a couple of months ago.
Exactly. I thought it'd be a good idea to show you the difference between a steamed bait and a boiled bait. So Ben had a little play with just a few things. Now what we've done is we've used the exact same base mix that we use here to steam our baits, but we've tried boiling them just to see what the difference is. Now I can show you that here is the boiled bait. This is what you're quite normally used to seeing. You buy from another company, you get these boiled baits. They're pretty hard, they're dry in the middle, you know, they're not
Almost looks, like you said, dry is a good word.
That's
mate.
it. They look dry.
The flex still in there.
Exactly. Yeah, you've still got the flex. You've still got the little bits of Niger seed and everything like that. Like I say, it's the same big base mix. But as you can see, this is what you'd normally buy if you went to another bait company. You'd get a boiled bait, and it does. It goes very dry and very crumbly, and you can see there.
And naturally, this is bleeded as well, mate. I sort of spoke to you about.
So,
one thing I am gutted about, because I showed you, remember we were talking about the water the other day, when you drop it from a steamer and you see how transparent that water is. Now with the boil, you wouldn't have believed the colour of the water was black in comparison to we can do. Me and you done 1/4 of a tonne the other day, and I'm not going to say the water was transparent, because it wasn't, but it had a tiny little bit of colour in it, as opposed to if we were boiling that, it would have been black, basically.
That's it. And you can even tell with the boiled baits, if you smell them, they haven't got...
It's not quite the same.
It's not quite the same. It's not got that same strength. Bearing in mind, it's the same amount of flavouring that's gone into this. So you can see how much has been pulled away from the baits just from the boiling process. Steamer ready.
So kicking it off, first things first then, Theo, there's the colour, isn't it, mate?
That's it. So when you boil a bait, not only is it pulling out nutrition, it's pulling out the colours within that bait.
Yeah.
So
liquid foods, flavourings.
all of that gets drawn out. So it basically, it almost bleaches the bait, where you're taking all of that colour and that nutrition you've put into it, and the boil takes it out.
Now you can see these haven't been steamed.
Yeah.
Haven't been steamed at the moment. You can tell that by how paste-like they are.
That's it.
But they are definitely a lot darker. Yes, fractionally, but they're definitely darker than these boiled baits themselves. But bearing in mind, this is exactly the same base mix. They're exactly the same base mix. Now these have already changed shape because I've been playing about with them in my hand. But that there, prior, darkness there. Obviously the dusting then you've also got on that as well. But finishing it off with the end product, mate, which is a whole new level.
The end product, exactly. So when you look at that for an end product, which is your boiled bait, and then you look at that, which is your steamed and double dusted, you can see the nutritional value that's extra that's in that bait.
So there you go, he's knocked the nail on the head there. You've got tens of thousands of different food particles over that one. You've got a bait that looks very different, but I know what I would rather use on the bank as well. Now over 60% of nutritional value when you boil a bait gets pulled away from it. Now I say this over and over again on our channel, it's almost like doing your chicken or your vegetables. If you steam your vegetables and your chicken, it tastes better. And it helps lock in that sort of moisture to a degree. But if you boil your chicken, boil your vegetables, it's not quite as nice. Now you're getting the same. Now just over 20% of the nutritional value when you steam it comes away from the bait. Yes, naturally you're going to lose some, but when you put the two numbers together from a boil and a steam perspective, you got chalk and cheese there, if you ask me. So this has just come out of the steamer, guys, and this is for the odd few people that mentioned to me, or I've seen on social media in the past, why just dust your baits, Ben, prior to a steam? It's going to come off in the steamer, it's a waste of time. Now the proof's in the pudding there, Steve. You can see all the dusting residue on it. These haven't had their second stage yet, but that is absolutely covered in particle there. And I would say over that one there, there's over 100 different food particles over it. On the outer dusting, straight away, these have been steamed, they've just come out the steamer. So the facts are there, you can see it with your own eyes.
So here we are, we've got an order here we've just boxed up for Alan from Liverpool. He's gone for the 5 key shelf life mix and match bundle. He's mixed and matched both of them, so in total with the 2 bundles, he's got 6 fruit and nut, 4 OG fish. He's gone for the 12mm white pop-ups in fruit and nut, so he's got 2 of them. 2 liquid fruity flat spots, and then as always he's bolted on 2 of the magic dust. Thanks for your order, Alan. This is all boxed up now, ready to go, and you'll receive this tomorrow.
Right, so next up, and I'm going to touch on this one, this is James, and this gentleman's from the Gosport area. He's kicked it off with a 5 kg shelf life bundle, again another shelf life bundle. He's went for 4 fruit and nut and 14 mils and 1 OG fish and 14 mils. Because now Tom's changed that over, you've got the flexibility to mix and match your 14 mil shelf life bundle if you order 5, 10, 20, 50, so on. Next up is mini mix pellet. So we went for the mini mix pellet, and guess what? He's got it in our Carpy green tubs, and he's also bolted on a Parker Bait sticker pack as well. Very good choice, I must say, James. Himalayan rock salt, in the pink Himalayan rock salt. This is 500 grams in a bag, and this is the cheapest online, £2.49 at the Parker Bait store. You are not going to find cheaper online. We've put it in not so fancy bags to bring our cost down alongside yours, to bring you a very, very, very cheap product, but very good product at the same time. Next up, he's went for the flat spot and fruity. Oh, and then he's went for a deluxe broidered t-shirt and some deluxe embroidered joggers as well. So thanks very much for supporting the Parker Baits wave. And sorry, on the bottom here, he's got some Fruity Nut Magic Dust as well. Great choice, I must say. Thanks very much for supporting the Parker Baits wave, mate. This is going to be packed today, sent today. You're going to be receiving the freshest bait in the game tomorrow. Happy blooming days. So as you can see, Ian's been working out at the gym. He's been going every day the last few months. He's absolutely massive, and I'm absolutely, well, I'm a little bit intimidated sitting next to him, or standing next to him, should I say. But finally showing our Parker Baits embroidered logo there, believe it. 5,000 stitches, Tom? 5,000 stitches, and believe it or not, these t-shirts, can only 4 of them could be, they've got 4 machines. It takes 45 minutes to do 4 t-shirts because of the stitching within our logo. No iron on here, guys. The best of the best, baby. Very well done.
Woohoo! So you join me back over to the other side. We're now doing fish today for the afternoon. We've done fruit and nut all morning. The same care goes into the fish as it does the fruit and nut. Everything here gets double dusted. We've got Ian and Tom over the other side, still packing orders. Can't believe how many orders have just keep coming through. It's crazy. So thank you for all your support. It means the world to everyone at Parker Baits, all the friends, all the family. And yeah, we're going to crack on and carry on with some OG fish. Come on, baby. So you can see why a lot of other companies don't do this double dusting. It's a very time consuming process, making sure every bait is completely even and shaken over. And it's just manpower. So unless you've got the manpower, I don't think any other company's going to be doing this.
So Jay's going to touch on this now. So Jay, talk me through then, mate. Or talk, not so much to me, but to the camera, and tell everybody watching this video right now exactly what we're doing then, mate.
So at the minute, we're getting the 14mm fruit and nut out of these trays, and we're putting them into these wooden ones, and we're taking it to the humidifier room to take all the moisture out of the bait. It sort of goes into a little machine, doesn't it?
That's it. So you've got, like, you said that 100% right. So this has been cooked today. This bait's been cooked this morning, so it's fresh. Now it's on its drying period now. So it's been out in the sun for a little bit. And then they're evenly, you get it perfectly on these trays, don't you? Semi, not too much, but just enough, so the air can travel through and obviously dry out the bait. These obviously had their double stage dusting, and like Jay just said, now they go over to the controlled room. So I'm going to let him loose with the camera now, and Steve, and I'll get him to talk over our controlled room, how it's sealed off over there, and the reasons for that, and how it dries out. Obviously the baits, they stay in there, they stay over there for a couple of days, drying out, and then obviously then they are then packed, fresh as fresh, to then go out to you guys. So there it is. I'm going to leave it at that, and Jay, I'll let you show him the controlled room, mate.
Let's go. So here you are, guys, join us in the container. Now, as you can see, it's all boarded off. If you look around the edges, fully air sealed by Ben's dad, all around everywhere. Then you come in, 2 dehumidifiers, basically takes all the moisture out of the baits that are on these racks. And then what I'll show you now is these racks actually allow air to travel through them to take that moisture out and make the bait lovely. Bosh.
Right, so it is now just gone 1 o'clock. Now we normally stay here anywhere up till 5 on a Parker Baits generic day. That's all the orders done. Me and Tom, Mum, Dad have sorted all the orders. All the orders have gone out. I don't know how many there was, but there's a bloody lot next door. So next priority, obviously the eggs are in the background here. I've also got the eggs down here. If you look down here, Steve, I'm just doing the last, all the eggs go in. Obviously we use the shells as well. I've got the Nimbus 2000 Egg Smasher 500 here. I'm going to use in a second, and I'm going to touch on what I will do is, if you're interested, I'll show you the flavourings that go in. And we only use a little bit of flavouring here at Parker Baits. I'm not one of these people that likes to overpower it with loads of flavourings. As I said this in the last vlog, when you go into a tackle shop, you know, we're almost the customers buying the product. We also got to think about the fish, nutritional values, etc. Not just, oh, that smells nice, because I like bubble gum and I love the smell of bubble gum. Cool, they must be good. Just have a little look, have a read on the back, nutritional values, in regards to protein levels, ingredients within, because you have got to put that on the back of the bag. So have a little look and have a little bit more of a think about what you're buying before you buy it. What I would advise as you do with the Parker baits, head over to our store. On there is a massive description, very carefully worded, and we've adapted it over the time to try and make it easier for people to understand better. Maybe people that aren't maybe into their bait as much as I am, but it's in full depth on there, ingredients, levels, how balanced it is, the reasons why we put it in on the Parker Bait store. So without further ado, I'm going to add the flavourings in now, and all these buckets over here, Steve, are here for a valid reason in front of me. Now the reason for that is I'm going to start prepping for tomorrow. So now I'm going to make the base mixes by hand. I make the base mixes myself here alongside my brother, the only two people that make them. I check it again to make sure it's 110%. I'm not relying on any machinery, but I want to see it with my own eyes. I don't want to be basing it on the computer going, yeah, that's about right, that will do. Now I'd rather do it myself. I know the number, I know what I'm looking for. I can keep that consistency, I can keep it 110% every time. But in front of me is 12 buckets down there, and it's going to take me a while to get these base mixes right. So we can come in tomorrow, I can prep the eggs again this afternoon, come in tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock or whatever time it is, bang, 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 get it all done, no issues at all. Also the eggs overnight have then had the preservative properties, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, have activated, and then basically you're getting a good shelf life. So there it is, I better crack on. So here it is, this is the squid and octopus flavouring. It absolutely stinks. It's a very high-end flavouring. Anybody who's into their bait will know there's various different grades of flavourings you can put in. I like to say some Primark and some Rolls Royce flavourings, if you like. This is a Rolls Royce flavouring, it's not cheap, but it does what it says on the tin. OG fish are prime and key ingredients, the squid and octopus that goes in. 40 mil for a 20 kg mix, that's it, 40 mil, that's not much at all. So next up is the chili, a slightly darker liquid, very, very, very strong. You don't want to touch your nostrils with this after it. Really, I should be wearing gloves if I'm honest with you, but it is a potent product. I love my hot food, but this takes hot to a whole new level. So yeah, that goes in, 40 mil again. So you've got squid, octopus, and a very strong chili. Beautiful. Right, so Bosh, here it is, the Nimbus 2000 Egg Smasher 500. And I didn't even turn it on. Take two, Nimbus 2000 Egg Smasher 500. Fresh eggs, the whole shell goes in, small levels of flavouring, so we're not overpowering the bait but still keeping that nutritional, so we're not trying to overpower the bait because our nutritional value isn't high, it's the opposite here. We're just a little bit of flavouring, high-end ingredients, Rolls Royce ingredients, tiny little bit of flavouring, eggs, shell, everything going for that crunch factor. Match made in bloody heaven, baby. Right, so I've got Jay next to me now, and I'm going to quickly go over a couple of key things. And what I'm going to do is, I've not really done this before, and Jay don't even know what's coming because I haven't even given him a heads up prior to starting this clip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Jay what his favourite product is and the reasons why he uses that product and also how he uses that product. So if I kick it off then, mate, obviously you've got pretty much all of the Parker Baits range behind us. Now take your time with this, but it'd be interesting to see what you pick, the thought process behind it, the reasons why you picked that one, why you use it. It's all quite exciting to be honest. Yeah. So off you go, mate, I'll leave it with you. So he's went for the OG Fish Wafters. Now, that's funny, mate, because that's one of my favourites. Yeah. What are the reasons behind that? Talk to me.
Well, as you can see on these baits, they are covered in rock salt, which the fish absolutely love around this time of year. But the buoyancy is perfect for a solid bag. So what that will do, once that's in the solid bag, laying out on the floor, or on the lake bed, that little wafter is just going to be wafting above that pellet, just so the fish can get right down on it, eat it, and then that hook's set perfectly. Game over.
How would you, so you fish the wafters, you say PVA bag, what would you add with this then, mate, in your bag?
So mini mix pellet.
Still mini mixing.
With the OG fish or OG fruit and nut dust. With this one, I'll put the OG fish dust with a bit of rock salt in it.
Why do you put the dust in? Do you put that at the bottom of the bag? Or?
I'll put it at the bottom, not only would it give it extra traction,
Yeah.
but also get the air out of the bag a lot easier.
Yeah.
To make it more air.
And also it helps with stopping that hook point blunting as well. With putting a little bit of dust at the bottom of a bag, you can make sure you lay your hook on top of that dust and it completely eliminates you blunting that hook or pulling into a pellet.
100%.
So yeah, there you go. I would say very good choice, mate. And also another just quick thing on these. I can't lie, I was going to pick my own, but he's picked up the same pot as I was going to pick up. OG Fish wafters. You also find that these baits will bleed, don't they? So if you leave one on the bottom, leave one in your margin when you're fishing, what you'll find is if PVA bag scenario will break down, then you've got your little wafter there sit in the middle of it, because it's got things like robin red in it, just under 20 different spices. It's going to bleed and leave that halo of attraction around each bait, almost like a target. So Jay, mate, thanks very much.
Bosh.
If you weren't aware, here at Parker Baits, or the Parker Baits online store, you can click on their local collection option, and what that does is it takes off the delivery charge, and obviously you would have to come down to Parker Baits HQ to pick your products up. Please bear in mind that we are Southampton based, because I've had people make the mistake before. They've clicked on their local collection and they've been based in Scotland, so be very careful. But Kev Sims, mate, your order's ready to collect. I'm sure he'll be up this evening to grab that. Now, I always make the joke on the Parker Baits story on a weekly basis. I say we chop so you don't have to. Now, for months and months and months, years, I used to get my baits and get my fingers and do this with them. You eat your sandwiches, you taste of the boilies you've been breaking up for the last 3 hours. Now, like I said, we literally chop so you don't have to. You've got loads of different breakdowns. This is fresh, and one thing I love about this as well, if you're fishing margins, because it's fresh, it's got that moisture to it, therefore you can make little balls. Now, if that was a shelf life chop, you wouldn't be able to do that, because it just wouldn't have the moisture level in it like our fresh freezer chops do. So again, I know I always say it, but another little insight there on our Parker Baits chops, why they're good, different breakdowns, and how fresh they really are. Happy days. Right, well, that is the last bits done in here now. All the new labels been put on, 95% of the stuff. Clean buckets there. Thanks to my mate Steve, we've got clean buckets there. They're going to be, the orders will be going in them tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to go the other side. I've got the eggs ready. All the base mixes are now been done for tomorrow's mixes. And this will probably bring us to the end of the video. And I really do hope it's been insightful today. You've got a bit more of a taste in your mouth of what Parker Baits is about as a general. The reasons behind it, the thought processes, the love, the passion behind the business.
If you haven't ordered Parker Baits before, get online and put Theo in at the checkout for 10% off.
Right, guys, I'm actually back now at my house, and I'm in my sort of fishing room, if you like, the garage, where it all happens. There's absolutely fishing gear, and I'm sure Steve will show you now. There's stuff absolutely everywhere in here. So we're back, and also I've sorted him out, because there's Steve, a massive part of Parker Baits now. Wants to get into fishing, don't you, mate? And we're also going to try and get some footage of this as well. I think it's going to be quite interesting. He's behind the camera now, and yeah, we've got a few bits in here, mate, ain't you, for you to keep you going. But let's just quickly recap on today. So we've done in excess of 200 kilo of the shelf life in the fruit and nut. We've topped up on there of the OG fish in the 14 mils. We bagged nearly 200 or just over 200, I think it was, of the 80 mil OG fish. All the labels were then put on all the pots. Now that's finished, it looks brilliant, and a massive shout out to Steve behind the camera. I'm sure he's smiling now, because they actually look spot on, they really, really do. So that is that. So I wanted to keep you in the loop of exactly the bundles, the new bundles that my brother and Steve have been working really hard on, alongside Lee as well, to get these right. PVA Pellet Bundle. Now we've only just dropped these recently, guys, for people that maybe didn't want to spend on a 5 kg bundle, which is $64.99 at the Parker Baits store. Now, for people that maybe don't want to do that, maybe they're going on a shorter session and they are a keen PVA bag fisherman, this is the perfect scenario for you. Now, first off, you get a green tub. Now, whether you want the mini mix, whether you want the OG fish or the OG fruit and nut pellet, that's completely down to you. And you also get the Carpy green tub with this. Next up is a liquid of your choice. You can put the liquid of your choice in this green tub, supercharge your PVA bags, and also that means you can also have a flat spot or a liquid food. That's entirely down to you. Finish it off with a hook bait of your choice. Now there's a whole selection of different hook baits. This is $29.99 on the Parker Baits store.
So join me this week at Willows Lake in St Albans. Quite a special weekend actually. It's the final of the BCAC mixed pairs. I'm competing with my fishing partner Charlotte Dovey. Really looking forward to it. Stunning lake, 22 acres in size. I think it's around about 7,000 carp. So, you know, big head of carp. Weather's looking good. There could be some big hauls, but it doesn't matter about the big haul. What matters is the 5 biggest fish. So I'm going to try and take you on my journey, yeah, fingers crossed.
So yeah, I think that sort of brings this video to an end. Hopefully I've given you something different. You know, every video I really do try my best to give you not just a factory vlog again, but something different. So like today we were doing the 14 mils and a bit more of an insight how it all works, the love that goes into it, and I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know, Parker Baits really is everything to me and my brother and the family, and obviously everybody supporting it as well. So I'm going to leave it on that note. Thanks for everybody that has tuned in, guys. If you want to go over, binge watch some more, there's absolutely hours of content at the Parker Baits YouTube channel. Go over, there's loads of day ticket waters we've hit up and down the country. We've been nearly doing this now for 2 years. So absolute madness, and like I said, what a perfect way to end. So just before I leave, guys, make sure you give us a thumbs up, make sure you comment down below, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos going forward. Peace out, and I'll see you all soon.
Still mini mixing.